Good morning, everybody. Stephanie from Luxembourg had a question, or didn't really have a question, but I perceived it as one, about basically learning the more advanced approach in Axure to dealing with coordinates and things like that as variables. If you've gotten advanced enough with Axure where you've started moving things around the screen and you've used coordinates like move this box from 5943 to 100, you know how annoying that can be when you have to change those numbers, or when you copy and paste this and now the numbers are all wrong. So there's ways to do this using some variables, and this is more advanced. So if you don't know this already, don't worry. But this is the way that I do it. Maybe someone has an even better way. So I'll show you what I've done here. I've set up a box and I've named it box. I've set up something else and I've named it something else, and I have a button. And the idea is when I click the button, I'm going to move the box under the something else a certain amount, because when you're working with this stuff, it's great to have relative amounts. And that way, when you move things or copy and paste things, you have less to fuss over. And then at the end, I'll show you an additional way that you could do this if you really need endless flexibility and variable action. So I'm going to start with the button and I'm going to create an interaction that moves the box under the other box. So I can say new interaction, on click, we're going to move. What are we going to move? The box is going to move. Now, how or where is it going to move? People who are intermediate with Axure get pretty good at by and to, where they can say how many pixels something is moving by or to what exact XY coordinates something is moving to. But let's take a look, excuse me, at how to use some variables here to move something to the exact coordinates. And the coordinates I want it to be is wherever the heck this something else box is, but fix 50, let's say 50 pixels under it. So it's always relative to this object, which means if you copy paste this whole set somewhere else, it will still be relative. And to do that, I start with 2, and instead of putting a value here, I go to the function. I know it's not clear from a UX perspective that this FX is a clickable button. At least it's not on my screen. But I'm going to click it, and I'm going to start by defining what is the variable here? What is the thing that might change? Well, the thing that might change is our something else box. It could be in a different position next time we do this, or if we copy and paste it. So I'm going to tell it LVAR, which stands for local variable, and a local variable is a variable you're going to use just temporarily for this interaction. Compare this to Axure's global variable, where a global variable is a value that you need to hold on to for your entire prototype, even across pages. So this is an instance where we just need a local variable. We don't have to hold this value forever and ever for our entire prototype. We just need to know this one thing right now. And before I got good at this, I don't know why old Axure's opening itself up right now. That's a little creepy. Old Axure, what are you doing? I'll deal with you later. So before I got good at this, I was using a lot of global variables. If you look at my prototypes from like 2013, I made all these variables for like, where is the something else box? Okay, put that X and Y in here. And I kind of had the idea, but I didn't have a better way. So our local variable, our LVAR1, is the something else widget. Now we can write some functions relative to the something else widget. So for example, let's say that we want the bottom of the box plus 50 pixels. So we need to find its widget and its bottom. So this will find whatever is the Y value bottom of that box. Now we don't want this because stop it. We don't want this because this, we clicked on the button. So this would be the bottom Y value of the button. If that's relevant, that's fine. You can leave it as this. But in this case, oh, I see what's happening. My headset mic is moving my mouse. That's why I'm like, why am I clicking on things I don't know about? All right, I'll need to change a little desk setup after this. So I don't want to know the bottom value of this, which is the button we clicked on. I want it for LVAR 1. But we're not done. I don't want it to just move exactly to that bottom Y. Then there will be an overlap. You could want that. That's fine. I want it to be 50 pixels. Now this would be, hold on. So this is our X right now. So right now this is our X, which means I actually just want the same X since these are going to line up on the left. So this would mean, hey, Axure, grab the X coordinate of the something else box and dump it in here, whatever the heck it is. And I can say, okay. But we also need to now do our Y, which is where I was headed, and I got ahead of myself. So now every time, because local variables are super temporary, you have to rebuild them every time. And some people go, and I go, yeah, but it's really going to help you later. It's worth it. So as you can see, the way we do it this time, you can pull it down from the menu and get some help writing this. Or when you get in the swing, you can just type it right out. I want the bottom. Yep, my microphone's working today. I want the bottom Y coordinate of LVAR1. What's LVAR1? Look down here. It's the something else box. But again, I don't just want it to be right at that point, though you could. I want it to be 50 pixels down. So I can say, okay, sorry, my microphone is still messing with my mouse. I will fix that later. I can have a groovy animation if I want, totally up to you, optional. And I can say, okay, now let's preview this. So I'm hoping that when I click the button, this box will slide under this one, lining up on the left because we use the same X coordinate, and 50 pixels lower on the Y. Ta-da! So that is a little bit about how you can use LVARs to make things more relative when you are dealing with coordinates. You can also use LVARs. Let's talk quickly about that. If you take a look at this, we can find something's X, Y. We can find its top, bottom, left, right. So again, if something is going to be relative to another object, you can find its X and Y. You can find its top, left, right, bottom, which would be X and Y values. You can also find its width and height. So again, I didn't mean to click on that, but again, so if something is going to be relative to something else's size, then you've got access to that. Hey, Axure, go find me that widget's width. Go find me that widget's height, and then do something with that, whether that's going to be a change of size or a movement to something relative to its width and height. You've got lots of nice choices down here underneath the widget part of this, but remember, you can't get the LVAR cooking until you define it here. So in my opinion, these are a little bit out of order when you're thinking LVARs, but because not everybody uses them, it almost makes sense for them to be second here, though again, it really helps when you're using them to define it first. So now hypothetically, if you wanted to make these a global variable, then you would just have to write an Axure thingy. No, I'm so bad at 9 because I feel like it's not intuitive. Set variable, that's what I'm looking for. Set variable value, and then of course you could take the X, the Y, the top, the bottom, whatever, and put it in a global variable and manipulate it from there. So hopefully that's a helpful but short lesson on using some LVARs in Axure. And of course, also you can define multiple LVARs if you need to. I am trying to double click on this, but it's making me sad. Does anybody know how I can just open this? No, I want to like really open it, like in the case editor. I like case editors, Axure. Someone help? No? How do I open that in the case editor? This is why I don't hang out in 9 very much, guys. I don't know how to get that into the case. More options? No. Anyway, I guess I would have to go back into here. And remember, you can define multiple local variables. So if you needed to, LVAR could be something else. I normally am either using widget or sometimes I'm using text on widget if I just want to grab words off something, but those are the most common uses for me, and you can define them. But again, LVARs are super temporary. You have to define them every time. So that being said, I hope this is helpful to some or all of you. I know it's a little bit advanced. If you're not up to that in Axure yet, don't worry about it. If you'd like to learn more about Axure, I do have 17 hours of videos for sale on my P-Type Academy website. That's P, Peter, T-Y-P-E, so it's like prototype with a bunch of letters missing, ptype.academy. And you can buy my core skills course, which is about 9 hours of Axure instruction that will take you into beginner and intermediate. I've got advanced, which has more advanced, and then I've got mobile app prototyping, which assumes you've done my core skills course, and I've got a bundle with all three. So thanks everybody for checking this out. Hope this helps, and let me know if you have other Axure questions. Bye.